Hey everybody. So, did you know that today, August 9th, is National Book Lovers Day? Uh, I think I've been back and forth about how to do a video about this. And I think I want to focus on my favorite book, my favorite author. Um, but this goes for all books, and all of us here are obviously book lovers, so we should celebrate today. Um, How do we celebrate today? How about we read? Yeah, just spend the day reading. There's no rules. Do it. If you're working, take off work, call in sick, and just read. You don't have to read your favorite author. There's no rules about that. I just wanted to take today to focus on my favorite author. So my favorite book. Ooh, it's a little shaky. My favorite book by far is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, Creative Living Beyond Fear. I have a hard copy of this, and I have a soft copy of this. And my soft copy, we're jumpy. My soft copy is signed, Love, Lizzie. So how cool is it to have your favorite book by your favorite author signed? That's pretty cool. So this is a little bit of a treasure to me. So anyways, Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. Basically, this is for anybody that's creative. And that's not just an artist, but a writer, a musician, any sort of creative outlet. We get stuck. And this is kind of a way to push through that. I've read this twice, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm not a rereader. So to read this twice, it's pretty impressive to me. So Elizabeth Gilbert, if you don't know, she's most famous for Eat, Pray, Love, which I have a copy of that as well in my physical collection. Now, I haven't, I don't know that I've read this. I might have read this forever ago when it first came out, but I haven't read it recently. So I have a physical copy. I'll keep this physical copy because it's by Elizabeth Gilbert. And again, you may have heard of this title. You may have read this book. You've probably seen the movie, Eat, Pray, Love. That's what she's most famous for. But my favorite book of hers is Big Magic. So, what else does she have going on? First off, Eat, Pray, Love, and then these are in no particular order. These are just the physical copies that I have in my collection. Eat, Pray, Love, Made Me Do It. This is basically little stories and quippets that kind of stories about people who read Eat, Pray, Love and just kind of were inspired to do the whole Eat, Pray, Love thing. Let's see here. Eat, Pray, Love helped one writer to embrace motherhood, another to come to terms with the loss of her mother, and yet another to find peace with not wanting to become a mother at all. One writer, reeling from a difficult divorce, finds new love overseas. Another, a lifelong caregiver, inspired to take an annual road trip solo. A man leaves seminary, embraces his sexual identity, and forges a new relationship with God. A woman goes to divinity school and grapples with doubt and belief. Basically, it's just stories that were inspired by Eat, Pray, Love. I've not read this one yet. But again, I have the copy, and so I will eventually. Another one by Elizabeth Gilbert, The Signature of All Things, is in my collection. Now, it's funny because the few books that I've not read by her, I have in my physical possession. The few books that I have read by her, aside from Big Magic, I've read on audiobook. So, she's got a handful of books out. I've read a handful of them. I've not completed all of the books by her. Just because I'm so stuck on Big Magic. It's just so good. I recommend it. It is my top book that I recommend to anybody. especially if they're a creative, if they're an artist or anything like that. I highly recommend that book. Anyways, Signature of All Things is by Elizabeth Gilbert. And this was one of her earlier ones, Stern Men. I've not read it either. But I do have physical copies, and she is part of my collection that will stay in my collection. I'll read her books, and I'll keep them. I'm not going to be passing them along. Except for Big Magic is one that anytime I see it in a thrift store or a garage sale or anything like that, I grab it and I pass it along. I kept I've got a hardcover for me, and I've got the signed one for me, but anytime I come across it, I grab it and I pass it along to somebody that I may know, who's a creative or anything like that. I've gifted that book so many times just because I love it. Another little tidbit about that book, last year, 2024, there was a Big Magic retreat in Georgia, where it was 3 or 4 days, a retreat basically with her speaking, and that's where I got my signed book. But it was so fabulous to be in her space. It was done at a kids or a youth camp. So we went and we had Big Magic camp. Basically, we stayed in a little dorm area and with cabins, and it was total camp. I mean, the mattress was this thick, and there was no air conditioning in the cabins, but it was so fun to be out in nature, and then to have some time with Lizzie and listen to her talk and talk about her books and all this and that. She's got a new book coming out in September, All the Way to the River. I've got it on pre-order. And I'm hoping to go down to Dallas and see her again. She's going to be talking about that book. And so hopefully I'll add another signed book to my collection. So anyways, that's enough about that. How are you celebrating National Book Lovers Day? You know, I will be reading, obviously. But I just wanted you to take the day to just kind of realize that we're book lovers, and that's cool. And, you know, nothing's wrong with that. But if you have a favorite author or a favorite book, take some time and read that book. Share a video about your favorite author or about your favorite book. That's always an option as well. So anyways, let's celebrate today being book lovers. Let's see here. I've got some notes here. Let's see here. How can we celebrate? Ways to celebrate National Book Lovers Day. Of course, read your books, read your favorite books, read your favorite author's books, or, you know, treat yourself. Go out and do a little bit of shopping and buy a new book. You know, that's always kind of cool. Explore the used books at thrift stores, used bookstores, little libraries, free little libraries around your town. You know, check them out. Find your new book. You know, how are some other ways that we can celebrate National Book Lovers Day? Like I said, I know how I'm going to be celebrating. I'm going to be reading. So anyways, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.